Starting off, Jeff, I'm wondering, when did you get involved in this? I know that you helped write the script, so where did this start from?
It's funny because I was thinking about this the other day, adding up exactly how long it's been in development. We're closing in on 6 years for me being involved in this project. And yeah, I was on vacation in Mexico, just got an email from one of the producers, and I'm in the sun of Mexico. Hey, would you like to do a post-apocalyptic, next Ice Age movie? I'm like, yeah, it's perfect. It sounds awesome. Let's get off this beach and get started. So yeah, it's been a long road, but it's been a fun road, and we developed the script for a number of years, and it took a while to get financing together and to pull our cast together, but here we are.
Well, it's a big film, so I mean, I expect the 6 years were warranted.
Yeah.
What was the hardest part about bringing this all together in terms of the pieces?
Really, the financing.
Right.
As is most of the time with film, it's always the financing, and it's that sort of chicken and egg between you got to have cast before you have financing, you got to have financing before you have cast. So it's always a tightrope walk.
Right. Well, can you tell us a little bit about it, bringing in Lawrence and bringing in Kevin? What was the process like? Mm-hmm. And getting Lawrence, I mean, it's kind of rare to see a big star, and Bill as well, in a Canadian film.
Sure. Well, we knew that we wanted to make a film of a larger scope compared to most Canadian movies, and that to do that we were gonna need to tap some names, some recognizable names. And for me as a director, it's like I'm always shooting to try to work with great actors. So, I always knew Lawrence would be fantastic because he's just got such a presence. And for Briggs, who's the leader of the colony, to have that authority, but also, what he was able to bring was a passion and an intimacy and kind of essentially like a father-like figure to Sam, who Kevin plays. So he was really perfect, and I've been tracking Kevin for a while in Transamerica and 50 Dead Men Walking, and I knew he could pull it off because I was really looking for somebody who who wasn't that sort of hero already, somebody with a bit of innocence, someone with some kind of who could pull through some vulnerability, who had some emotional scars, so somebody who could play from kind of a follower who becomes a leader, someone who a boy to a man type of arc. Mm. And I've seen Kevin's work, and so I got a really good sense of what he was capable of, and really blown away by what he's been able to do with the role.
Thanks, man. In terms of the development of Sam, I mean, starting out, it's a different Sam than when we end. Yeah. What's that arc like in terms of playing him? What did you kind of dig into for that?
Well, I mean, for me, I actually think that certainly at the time, and I think I still do, I have a little bit of both. I mean, there's certain situations I find myself to be pretty passive, and other situations where you're sort of called into having to do something. So for me, I think it wasn't so much as it works as an arc in the movie, but playing either side of that was never felt like such a stretch for me. It was just about sort of finding a situation in my own life where I find myself to be a little bit more passive, and then certainly at the end, I think there's many situations in my life where I would take that role of protecting my family or taking care of what I have to. So the arc was not really that. It didn't feel that dramatic to me because I think I do have both qualities, just in different degrees.
There is a point though where he snaps, I guess you could say. Uh-huh. What was that like to play? Because it looks ferocious.
Yeah, well, I mean that's another thing. It's not something that any one of us really like to acknowledge about ourselves, but I certainly know I have. There's been a few situations in my life where I've lost control, and who's to say what you do? I mean, I've been out of a situation and gone, man, if I didn't have someone around, who the hell knows what I would have done? And you know, so it's in there. Again, it's the same thing. It's not something that I was making up, but there's definitely a part of me that can go there. It's not something that I, you know, try to harness very often, but you know, I think as an actor, if you start faking things, it doesn't really work, and so that was real at the end. I don't know what it was that I was beating the crap out of, but it was something. So, and at the time, it felt very organic. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Well, in terms of making this world real, I mean, what went into that? Because I mean, you've obviously got the deep location sets and making the kind of snow feel like it's global. How did that come together?
Yeah, I mean, initially we were set to shoot in, you know, we were scouting North Bay for exterior locations and thought we would shoot out in the real snowy environments. But as you know, as our schedule kind of compressed, we realized that probably was a really terrible idea. You know, what if the sun came out? You know, so yeah, we shoveled snow into an airplane hangar and hung 3 walls of green screen, lit through the 4th. And so, you know, our actors are walking on snow, and it was cold. You know, it was North Bay at this time of year, February, March. So it was, our first couple of days were -30, so you get, you know, the great breath, and, you know, our actors are actually suffering out there, so it's real suffering. You know, and then the underground NORAD base was very similar, right? You know, here we have a location that's you know, basically right out of our movie, you know, an underground bunker made for survival. And, you know, just being down there puts you into a state of mind. It's very creepy, and you can really feel the weight above you, you know. So, yeah, very effective, I think, on screen, and, you know, just in how we felt when we were filming.
Well, my last question is, it seems set up to have a sequel, perhaps. I mean, you could have this whole chain. Are you both on board for that, if it's possible?
I would be.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, we've got some plans. We're working on a comic book, and you know, there's you know, little rumors about prequel, sequel, that kind of thing. So, yeah, fingers crossed.
Well, it's nice to see something this big coming out of Canada.
Yeah. Well, pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.